Dr. Jared White. I'm an assistant professor of Spanish here at Buena Vista University. I have a friend named Jason Yancey. We were in grad school together. He is a master puppeteer. I mean, he knows designs and builds and writes theater for puppets. And he came and approached me in 2018 and asked me if I would like to help him in a puppetry project that he was kicking off. And the first play we did was called The Fabulous Johnny Frog. We translated him to English and include some of the funniest moments, and it was a good show. It's opened doors for me. I'm traveling. I'll be in January. I'm going to go to Salzburg, Austria for a puppetry conference out there that we got invited to. In July, we got invited to a Golden Age Spanish Theater Festival. It's very unique. It's the only one they have in Spain. It happens every year. They've been doing it for decades now. And this is, I think, the first time that they're going to feature a puppetry group that has a specifically educational component like ours. Being involved in puppeteering has been great for my students. In fact, it's given me another way to help them to engage with the community. A challenge as a Spanish professor has always been, how do I get my students from the classroom into the Spanish-speaking community that we have here in Storm Lake? And through puppeteering, I'm able to literally take my students into the junior high schools, elementary schools, and have them perform for the students in Spanish or in English and answer questions in Spanish or just cater to that Spanish demographic and especially the younger Spanish students. My favorite part of doing the outreach component, which is when we go to the schools, is that we help these kids validate their language in a meaningful way. It seems like at the elementary school, just where I grew up, the Spanish is frowned on. Relatively recently, we've had immersion programs and programs that celebrate Spanish and Spanish communication. But historically, I think in the United States, we have a tendency to denigrate Spanish. And it's good for me to go to the classroom and celebrate this language that is a fundamental part of the identity of these kids. So I love seeing their smiles when they hear me speak Spanish. I love having them come up afterwards and tell me how much they appreciated the show in Spanish. They tell me these things in Spanish. And I love the hugs afterwards, and it really helps me feel like I'm doing something that matters to kids that don't receive enough attention. The bilingual play is called El Nogalar. It's a play about a family that comes back to a town in northern Mexico. I think it's very good for what needs to happen today. In terms of community outreach, what we are hoping is that we are catering to this demographic of Spanish and English here. So folks that speak Spanish will come to the play. Folks that speak English will come to the play. There's a bilingual element to it. I would say maybe 30% of the play is in Spanish, and then 70% is in English or some Spanglish blend between. The idea is that we would invite folks to come to the community, come to campus, but we also are taking the play to the community itself.